What a great football game. Two great football teams, and I knew that coming in, that we were playing a dynamite football team, and we didn't play exceptionally well the first half, but I credit Northern Iowa. They took us out of our game, took us out of our rhythm in the first half, and we challenged the guys a little bit at halftime, and I was really pleased with how we responded. Offensively, we were really sharp. We had the turnover, but that was a tip ball, and Carson fumbled. But give those guys credit. They stripped, and they did everything. You weren't going to have a clean game with as hard a hitting game as that was. I can't tell you how many guys were on the turf, and a lot of guys nicked up, a lot of guys injured. It'll be a tough injury report for both squads. But and then defensively, we didn't play very well. I think that's pretty evident in the second half, and it wasn't schematics. Coach Ince and the staff did a really good job. We just missed a couple of fits, and when you miss a fit against a quarterback like that and Bailey, you're going to pay for it, and he did. He made us pay, and I was just so proud of our guys. Coming on that last drive when we completed the fourth down play to get a first down, I looked at Dempsey and CJ and Champ, and I said, we're going to go to 2 minutes. You get yourself ready. It is going to be a 2-minute defense because you're just not going to count against number 11. He's going to find a way to get you in the end zone. My hat's off to Darius Shepard. That young man didn't practice Tuesday, came out there on Wednesday with an AC joint separation. Ran around with one arm like this and caught balls. We shelved him on Thursday. Bobby did a great job. Trainer said, you've got him for one half. You pick the half. I did that. I at least said second half. So give me some credit on that. We held him for the second half, and what a game that young man played. So so appreciative to have my family here that came all up. And I know my brother, my folks that live in Waterloo Cedar Falls. I know it probably made it a little easier for you for the next year at least. So, Dad, you can do some ribbing of guys, and I talked about Scott in the locker room, but thank you for coming and sharing it with me, and thanks, Rhonda, for everything. That was a pretty special win. I'll take questions.
Coach, describe the last drive there. It reminds you of South Dakota State, Illinois State last year with Carson in the ball.
It really did. The difference was Northern Iowa just kept pinning their ears back, and Carson was getting hit. Where he didn't get hit, I didn't think in those other two drives. Northern Iowa's front was phenomenal. They kept hitting them, and he kept staying in there. He was banged up. We had a backup center in there because Kunert was out, and he just kept delivering. And our guys are clutch. Whether it was RJ and Vra or Shep, they just kept making plays.
Able to bounce back. I mean, 2 interceptions, a fumble, not a normal game from that perspective for him.
Yeah, and once again, you got to credit Northern Iowa. They did a great job disguising some coverages. They disguised the first coverage really well when Kilfoy picked it, and then he had the fumble, and then the other one he threw it behind Vra a little bit, and then they made a good play on a tip ball. But Carson doesn't get rattled. He threw 2 picks, but I think he threw for 335 and 4 touchdowns, went 26 for 40. I think, in my opinion, he's the best football player on the field today. Without question, he's the best football player on the field today, and he proved it in the last drive.
Chris, you said Shepard for one half. Is it a pain tolerance thing? Why one half?
Because they were going to inject him, and that's all that would last, would be a half. And so we chose the second half.
Catches, I mean, both of them contested with the shoulder, being able to hold on. And
you know what, though? He made those plays all through fall camp. Not a lot of us knew about him in the spring, and then in fall camp he started doing some really good things, and then he got hurt on a hip pointer making one of those type of catches the week before we played Montana. So he was about 60-70% against Montana, so we really didn't have him for that game. Then all of a sudden he got healthy, and we saw what he did in a couple of games before. But he's a tough young man, and what a competitor.
Maybe it wasn't picture perfect, but you've got heart and you've got believers out there on this football team. What sort of a difference maker is that in the long run for a football team?
Well, it was so important for us because the tables were turned against us against Montana. We didn't get a first down. We allowed the team to go down there and score against us in a 2-minute situation. And that's the thing that I was so pleased with our guys is we not only took it down and scored against a really good defense, but then our defense turned around. We had a big sack in that last series, and we did some good things keeping him in bounds. And I knew he was going to be able to throw it to the end zone. He did it against, I think, Eastern Washington on a Hail Mary, and it got there. And thankfully, we worked that play every week. We worked that Hail Mary play every week, and we always talk about tackling the football. You don't try to catch the football, you tackle the football, and our guys did a great job of batting it down.
Just talk about Sear's first career touchdown catch, and what was it like to, I guess, get him a little bit involved in that?
We had shown a tendency probably to run it a little bit more when Jedry was in there, so we thought that they'd probably overplay the run, and Jedry did a great job selling it. He blocked the blitzer and then got open in the flat, and really happy for Jedry. He's really special to me.
Coach, the emotion on the sideline when they missed the field goal.
You know, it gave us some life. There's no question about that, especially since they, we finally stopped them 3 plays in a row after they just motored down like in that last drive, and then I used all the timeouts, and they missed the field goal. And I think our offense got a little bit of life that if we go down and score, I thought the defense would stop them.
Talk about some of the changes you made at halftime. RJ and Zach didn't have a catch. They ended up with 10 total over 160 yards.
Well, we tried to establish a run in the first half, and they're too good up front. We couldn't do it, so we knew we had to throw the ball a little bit more, and we knew Carson was probably going to get hit a little bit more, and he did. And those kids they're big time players. RJ's a great player, so was Zach.
The idea on the injury list, I mean, starting with Coonard, I guess.
I don't know. I really don't know, Jeff.
In that third quarter, it seemed to shut them down when Bailey first came out onto the field, and then all of a sudden those 2 drives came out of nowhere. What did they change, or did you guys change anything?
I don't think they changed anything. They just executed really well on the long play. Our outside backer was supposed to send it back to the safety, and he fell inside and then cut off our safety, and we just didn't catch the kid. So I don't think it was anything. It wasn't anything they were doing differently with Sawyer. I mean, Sawyer was running the same play, and he hurt us too. So that's a play we've got to get shored up.
Were you expecting to see both today? That you thought you were going to see both?
I thought Cole Morgan would start. Just the fact that he had been in the Fargo Dome before, being a 5th-year senior, I really have a lot of respect for that young man. I think he's a great football player. I thought we'd see him more, and we probably would have not seen Bailey had he not gotten hurt. I didn't know what his injury was.
Big picture, how big is the victory? Because now you're 2-0 in the league and 4-1 overall.
Yeah, and we're 0-0 starting Monday. I know it. You don't want to hear it, but if we come out flat, South Dakota will rip us next week. It's just this is that kind of league. And but no question, you got to be able to hold serve at home, and that's difficult to do. We stole one on the road, held serve at home, but we may be playing with a lot of backups, and if that's the case, then those guys got to be able to play. But this league, we've gotten 6 more weeks of this. It's a physical grind.
Cam Peterson, the field goal, it's a difference, and then obviously the special teams overall thought played pretty well.
You know what? Everybody was at the game in Cedar Falls last year. We got whipped on special teams. The kick returns were big. They really beat us up on special teams last year, and I thought we really won that special teams battle. Ben LeCompte kicked it phenomenal. Cam Peterson just keeps going out there, and he just keeps making things, and you don't really think about it. And we did a great job on punt. And it was going to be a field position game, and I thought we did a good job of winning that battle.
Chris, can you ask for a much better weekend when your son scores last night? You get a win like this against your old school.
My son scoring and senior night, that was the most important part to me. That was really cool. Honestly, that was a highlight of my weekend. And this is pretty doggone close. But my son's worked awfully hard. For 136 pounds, he's worked incredibly hard, and he's that. Love you, Devin. Next question, please.
Coach, if they would have made that field goal and you were down by 7, would you have gone for 2?
Oh, absolutely. I can say it now. Yeah, we'd have gone for 2. I'd ask President Brashani, what do you want it to do? Do you want to go for 2? I don't know. That's a good question. It would have been a situation that we'd have definitely thought about. We would have definitely thought about it.